This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring, outside the ring, it's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Come on! And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Welcome back to the Universal Wrestling Podcast. My name is Nick. His name is Keith. Keith, there was a rumble in the jungle, and now we are going to recap and review the 2024 Royal Rumble. Man, it was exciting.
Absolutely.
Every single match, in my opinion, made sense. Yes, there were some things that just didn't make sense, but that's just with everything. Talk about it a little bit before we get to that's before we dissect each and every match. Just general thoughts about the PLE.
No, I'm right there with you. I thought all four matches, which already it was crazy that it actually stayed as a 4-match card. Like, when's the last time we saw only a 4-match card, especially in WWE? But all 4 matches were good in their own rights. Some better than others. Some had higher moments than others. Some had lower points than others and things. But like everything made sense. We'll get more into the specifics of stuff as we go along with everything here. But I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
It was a great event. I'm always, as we said it in our predictions, I'm always stoked for the Rumble every year. Always really excited for it to come up. It's like my favorite event every year.
Yeah.
We'll talk about where it ranked in like other ones, but it was a great Rumble. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just very enjoyable. And it was the first time in, 6 or 7 months that I was able to watch it with the boys.
Nice.
And your boy, give me a second, your boy walked home with the title, baby. I am your WPW champion. It's just something we've done for like years. Where you just it's like a football pool. You pick who wins, who loses, and all that. And your boy was lucky enough to get Cody in the Rumble lottery. So
that's right. You swept us in the predictions too. You had a clean sweep.
Yes, sir. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to the Women's Rumble. And before we get started and before we, discuss the Rumble, I think this Rumble really showed us what the plans are for WrestleMania. And I think this is a great match to start because this is just, it's bold. It's underlined. We know exactly what's going to happen for WrestleMania. It's going to be Bayley going one-on-one with Io. And that's where it seems to be going. Let's get into it, brother.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about this match. Let's hear your thoughts. Just give it to me.
Well, first and foremost, what else could I say but Jordan fucking Grace? I could not believe that. We talked about it that night when it happened. You texted me being like, holy shit. And I didn't get to watch it live.
I was 7 beers down at that time. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to text Keith.
I didn't get to watch it live, which was fine, but I didn't hear anything before it. And you had kind of mentioned like, people were talking before, like there was rumors going on. I didn't see any of that. And even before I saw your text,
awesome.
Even before I saw your text, I was just kind of scrolling Facebook. And, when the event's going on, WWE is constantly putting clips up on all their social media. So I'm scrolling Facebook and I see a clip and I just saw like, something that said TNA. And I stopped and looked and I saw her. And like, I was actually at my in-laws' house. We were all having dinner. Yeah. We just finished. We're all sitting around just kind of shooting the shit. And I'm like at my phone and I was just like, like audibly like gasping, was like at my phone. They're all like, what's the matter? What's wrong? I was like, it's wrestling. I'm sorry. They had to like play it away, but I was stoked on that.
Good, man. This is
it was so that was the best surprise of the night.
This is a text message I got from Timmy Saturday at 2:53.
Yeah.
Keith's gonna bust a nut. And I said, why? Because I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. And he showed me a picture. It's Jordan Grace, just a little news.
Okay, I got you.
I don't know, ringside.
I got you.
Yeah. And I didn't say anything. But then 7 beers in, I'm like, did you see this? Oh my God.
You're the man. Like I said, it didn't even like line up, and I was scrolling anyway and I saw it and then was like, oh my God. Yeah, amazing. So happy for her. I've been riding that train since like at least 2018. She's the best. She deserves all the credit she's getting.
Keith, the Rumble had a little bit of everything. Like you said, we seen Jordan Grace, a lot of NXT hopefuls.
Yeah.
This was something It was a rumble that I didn't think could happen. I didn't think this was going to be such a good rumble, and I'm not saying it's because Cody was going to win the rumble, which I
Right.
thought was going to happen.
You
But
did.
regardless, you got some R-Truth, you got some Chelsea Green, you got some
Yeah.
returns.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Where are you going?
I actually, in my little notey notes I have written down, I feel like this might have been the best women's rumble
Wow.
since they started doing them. Honestly,
And if you could pinpoint something, what is it?
It's tough. I mean, I don't know if there's some of it's just like the bias of Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Because she looked like the only downside with her is I wish she would have gotten like one elimination, just one.
Yeah.
Whoever, whatever, doesn't matter, whatever. But fine, doesn't matter if she didn't. There's been like everyone since Saturday. There has been just heaps of praise coming out for it, and that's all I really care about. And I'm so happy about that. But just she looked great. She made everyone she was in there with look great. I loved the surprise out the gate. Well, surprise unless you were like kind of in the know like we are with everything. But like the surprise out the gate right away with Naomi, like I knew that was coming. I was actually, but even with knowing was coming, I definitely didn't expect her to be the second one in the Rumble and to go as long as she did and stuff. Like that was awesome. Just there was so many good, just like little, like just moments of stuff, like again, not to be all biased with but like when Jordan Grace and Ivy Nile had like the delayed suplex off, like they were both sitting there holding for a while, and I was just like, damn, like never really made that comparison before, but like Ivy Nile totally could be a Jordan Grace in the future. She's not quite there yet for me yet, but like she absolutely could be. Piper and Chelsea. Everything to do with them was perfect. Like Piper looked really strong until Nia Jax came in because they're trying to make her stronger, which is fine. But like those two are probably the best women's tag team on the roster right now. And I just love everything they do. Chelsea's hilarious. The holding the people and just getting hit in the corners. Like I think it was just because there was such a mix of like the good call-ups, the surprise stuff, regular like just good Rumble action mixed in with like good comedy stuff. R-Truth running out like where the men at, the stuff with Chelsea in the corners getting nailed every time, and all of that stuff all mixing together to just make it a good one. The whole thing, Bailey in there fighting it out. Bailey's kind of going longest. Bailey was third, I think, right? So like Bailey going long, and then like she's got Asuka, and then she's got Kyrie, and she's got backup, and then they both get eliminated. And it was like, oh man, like that's it. I guess, they kind of just like outright were just like, that's all of Damage Control. And I kind of found myself being like, well, I guess that means Dakota Kai is definitely not coming in, but okay. Anyway.
I think for me, there's two things. I think when it's three things. When it's fun, it makes everything that much better. When it's fast paced, it makes things that much better. And I think the one and only thing here is that the right person won. Agreed. Yeah, we could have said Rhea was the right person in 2023. Maybe some people would say Ronda 2022, but
that was the worst
right
Rumble.
now, right here, Bailey was the right pick. And again, fast pace. It was fun to watch. You enjoyed it. That's what you want out of a Rumble, out of anything really. And we'll get to the men's Rumble, but similar to the men's Rumble, it's like a lot of unknowns. We've been waiting forever for Bailey to finally turn face, and it looks like it's going to happen. Yeah. The story is there. That's another thing too. Right. Rhea, yes, the story was there, but we kind of knew what was going to happen. Here, Bailey's like, we still don't know. Obviously, we know the end game, but we don't know the lead up to WrestleMania 40. That's what's going to be a lot of fun because, again, we've been waiting forever for Bailey to finally turn face and go for the title, and that's what we're going to get. One big thing here I think we have to talk about is Jade. I think she looked great. And again, it wasn't too much of Jade. It wasn't too much of Bailey. It wasn't too much of Nia. It was just fast paced. Everybody got their shit in, and Jade did. Was it a little, I don't know, whatever you want to say. It looked a little weird, but the point to be made is she's here. She's ready. And I think there's going to be something with her at WrestleMania 40. I don't know if it's a match, but I do know that she's going to be there.
Her and Bianca confirmed. they had that stare off for a second. The way the crowd. So one of my like only lowlights of the whole event, honestly, not even just the women's rumble, but like the whole event was like I felt like
Pat McAfee.
No, I love it. We'll get to that. That's another thing to talk about. But
Mamma mia! Go ahead.
I felt like the crowd the whole time, especially in the women's rumble, but even as the night went on, like the crowd just seemed kind of dead for a really good chunk of it. Like they weren't like as loud or as enthusiastic as like I feel like past rumble crowds are. Now I don't know if that was just because like, you know, they were in like a baseball, like an indoor baseball stadium essentially. Like maybe that was what it was. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to you know understand acoustics and all that kind of nonsense. Exactly. But like the pop that you did here and like the reaction when Jade and Bianca had that stare off, I like as soon as I saw that, I was just like, well, that's a Mania match. Doesn't have to be for a title, but that you got 4 months now, go, or 3 and change, whatever. So get going, get her in there and get going. I had kind of said in the predictions with Jade specifically, this is the perfect environment to bring her in to debut her because you can. The point of a rumble is that it's chaotic. There's a bunch of stuff happening all the time at different points, and you can move. You don't have to just see what she's doing the whole time, and she's moving from like, okay, this person to that person to this person to that person. So if she's not working too well with Zelina Vega, cool, punch, Zelina gets it back off you, cool, roll out, back away, go over here, cool. Now you're over here with Piper. Let's see what that one does. All right, that's good. Keep sitting there for a little while. Cool. There's look, moment. Okay, no one limited. All right, moving on. Like you can switch her around, you can hide whatever flaws there are. So you know, like I said, in the predictions, I said that this is the match to debut her in, and I think they did a great job of it. I mean, White Claw Hard Meltzer was saying like after the fact, she's still a ways away from being like ready for it, but like I feel like she looked like a star coming in. The reaction she got showing up, the reaction to the stare off between her and Bianca, nothing stuck out in my mind or nothing that I saw stuck out as being like, ooh, that looked rough from her or anything. Like, I thought she was absolutely ready, especially when compared to like one of my notes I thought was hilarious was on like when Maxine Dupree came in, Cole said, Cole as she was coming out, Michael Cole was like referred to her as the heavily improved Maxine Dupree. And then she proceeded to get into the ring and like kind of blow the first 2 spots she did. Like it looked real rough. And I was like, it's bad. You're calling her heavily improved and then that happens. Jesus. Yeah. Whereas like nothing looked horrible from Jade that I could like out, you know?
No. It was just at the end of the day, everything made sense. And sometimes that is difficult. Sometimes that's hard for us to comprehend when things don't go the way we want. It's also hard to understand when things have to go certain ways.
Right.
And for this match, everything went perfectly. I mean, it's just, this is what you want. You want the momentum behind Bayley. You want people to talk about Nia. You want people to talk about Jordan. You want people to talk about, I can go on and on and on, but you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, the mission was to get Bayley over and to have people have their time in the spotlight. And I think everybody did. Keith, tell me if this sounds familiar. He gets beat up. Someone interferes, sneaks a victory with a spear. Keith, let's get to the next match, a fatal 4-way match for the Universal Undisputed Championship. Roman Reigns is your champion. He went one-on-one with Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. Everybody in this match had a reason to hate Roman. Knight was prevented from gaining the WWE Championship. Let's see, Orton has had his past with the Bloodline, and AJ was injured by the Bloodline. So everything made sense going in. Was it a quick match that was made? Yes. Did it get the job done? Keith, same shit, different day.
Yeah.
It's cliche, but it is what it is, and that's similar to the a match with Roman. Same shit, different day, but it gets the job done. Keith, let's get the job done here. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about in the predictions, like my biggest hope for this match was just like something different in some way. Give me a little bit different something for the 4-way so that it's not just the same rinse and repeat that it has been. And they kind of did, but like really didn't. I mean, it still came down. Solo interferes, whatever. Solo was taken out of action pretty quick. Like, he didn't get everybody. And then really what came to was like the chair coming in and all with Styles and whatnot. So I guess it's like you can't have both. Like it was a
No.
little bit different, but I feel like it wasn't different enough. But at least it was different, I guess. So that's a plus for it in my book. I thought it was a solid match. I thought there was a lot of like good stuff that went on. I mean, again, the solo stuff was kind of a little bit of a letdown. I did like that it was like I feel like this was the most beatable Roman has looked in a match in a while.
And I think that was for a reason.
Right. And that's Absolutely. A good thing. It's a good thing that it was. Like, I'm happy that happened. Like, but like, I also, like, I don't know. I feel like I almost wouldn't have minded if, like, instead of it being like Solo running down and pulling the ref out and like, oh, the pins were like that way, like, literally have it where, like, this is one of the first times in a while anyway, especially like since the bloodline's been as bulked up as it was and everything once, from any of that, like, it's one of the first times you have Roman in a match where it's like from the outset, like by nature, it's no DQ. So like, I feel like it might have even been something just even more, a little bit more interesting to have it be like when the match starts, like, so like have Roman make the entrance with Heyman and Solo. And when the match starts, Solo just rolls in the ring and just stands in front of Roman and looking at all of them. And then you're looking at now, you have this like kind of interesting dynamic of it's like almost like a handicap match of like 2-on-3 because they got to get rid of Solo before they can even get to Roman. Meanwhile, Solo is beating them all down, trying to weaken them up for Roman to be able to retain again. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been a better story rather than just getting the really, admittedly and agreeably, like, good match that we got. But, like, it would have been a better layer that way rather than it just being like, oh, good match. Oh, bloodline interference. Oh, ref. What? Oh, all that samey. But it was still good. I mean, I kind of want to see. I think I want LA. I think out of this, I want Knight and Orton to feud for a bit. I want to see those two go at it. Talk about that in our picks for who Randy should feud with. But yeah, like seeing it in here, that's what I want now.
Yeah, I think it was a solid match too. A bit short to tell a Roman Reigns match storyline. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of things that you can get out of this. I think the first thing is Randy was the MVP. I mean, he just looked so strong. And I think maybe this is a little bit of, I don't know. Maybe he wins his 15th world title. I see something there. I feel like they still think he has at least one more run. So to make him look this strong in a fatal 4-way it's tough to do because everybody has to get their shit in. Yeah. And it looked like Randy got most of his shit in with hitting RKOs after RKO after RKO, which was something you really want to see. I'm going to say I think this might be where LA and AJ have a feud.
I'm into that too.
I don't know. I think something they weren't like it wasn't like a stare down, but you could kind of tell. And again, we've watched wrestling for a long time. Maybe I'm looking too far into it, but it just seemed like there's something there. I know it's going to be LA Knight. Well, I don't know, but we assume it's LA Knight and Logan Paul at WrestleMania. But I don't know if they changed it up. I wouldn't be upset. I don't know. I think LA needs a title, and I think that's why I'm looking for him to go one-on-one with Logan. But yeah, I don't really think we need to get too much into this. I mean, I think I want to discuss like what's going to happen after this, after the Rumble, and after Roman Reigns retaining at the Rumble, after we talk about the Rumble, because if we talk about it now, then I'm going to spoil something. So let's get to the next match here. It is for the United States Championship. That is your champion, Logan Paul. He went one-on-one and defeated Kevin Owens. It was a match I didn't think we needed, but I was so happy it happened just because of the ending. And sometimes the ending is just like the best part or the worst part. Yeah. And it really does a big, it really helps the match or it really hurts the match. It even hurts the storyline. Right. This made sense. This is what you want. You want someone like KO to take out the brass knuckles. And I don't know how many times the ref practiced this, but it was absolutely perfect. So smooth. 1, 2, 3, almost 3. And he looked at him. And you could see now looking back, hindsight's 2020, you can see that KO basically like put it in his face. Yeah. Here, I got the brass knucks. Yeah.
Hooked with this arm, like, oh!
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think this is a match that needed to be short and sweet just because no one really cared. I mean, this is the match before the Rumble. You just, you get up, you hang out with your boys, you go take a shot, you go to the bathroom, you do what you got to do, and then you come back. This was short and sweet, and I think they did that on purpose. Keith, your boy's KO.
He is.
Let's talk about him, baby.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
He was another guy going back to our prediction video. Go watch it if you haven't, even though it's over. Nick won, but I said it in there about like you can't get a better dance partner for Logan than KO. KO is going to be the perfect dance partner for almost anybody because he's that friggin' good. He's just going to make who he's in the ring with look good too with what he does. And even though I lost predictions, I was totally right about that. He made Logan look great. I thought. Even though this wasn't much of like a match, it kind of way it was pretty short. It was something we didn't, like you had kind of said, we didn't really need it, but like it was put together fantastically. Just from the bell, KO is on top, just demolishing Logan Paul, and then Paul's got to go after the hand and weaken him up, and then we can start the back and forth a little bit more. Like it starts out with KO doing his thing. I love when we went over the side earlier on and like knock whoever's GoPro off the edge too. Like someone was recording. He's just like, get out of here. The finish, I'm still like up in the air of how I feel about the finish, honestly, because like on the one hand, yes, it was really cool. It was a unique thing we don't really see. You never see the refs like spot something like that and call off, like especially last minute, like it was, So that was like really unique in its own way. On the other hand, though, like I think for me, like I don't know any of Logan's crew, and I'm never gonna know any of Logan's crew because I don't care to know any of Logan's crew. So when that guy jumps the barricade, I'm just like, like shut up. I don't care. Whatever his friggin' name is, Jeff or Dave or whatever. I don't care. I'm not a Logan Paul fan. I'm not meant to be, and that's whatever. But I'm not gonna. I'm not invested to be that. Like it was different. Like just like as an example, like I don't like stalk Sami Zayn's life, but like when it was Sami Roman and Roman's over talking smack to Sami's wife, like that's interesting. Like she didn't interfere, but like that's an interesting thing being like, Roman, like I was going to take care of you. I was going to give you guys the world. Like that's fun. That adds to this match. Logan's person who's leeching off of him, hopping the rails, security should have just tackled him. Like that's how life really goes. If it's some stranger, if it's not very clearly a wrestler who hops the rails, security should have just tackled him and cuffed him and beat him up as they carried him out of the arena. And instead it's, I get it. It's wrestling. It's the story. Fine. And then it was a nice touch having Waller and Theory come down to be the ones to keep being the thorn in KO's side. Cause I like that whole thing going on. So that's cool. We got places to go from here. I don't think KO continues with Logan Paul. I don't, and that's fine because KO can continue with the other two and really just beat the crap out of them and keep going with that and help make them, which is going to be great also. That was really like about it. Like it was good. Ending was cool-ish. I don't care about Logan's people. Stop using them in matches. That's everything. But it was it was beautifully put together for the beginning.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Short and sweet, got to the point. Let's not see this again. Let's not see, like you said, one of his chromies again. I think I'll just talk about it real quick. I think it's hard for us to enjoy a interference during a Logan Paul match because it's the same shit. It's another chromie. It's another crew, another camera guy, whatever. And it's just like, it's hard to comprehend. And also Michael Cole's like, oh my God, who is this? I don't know. Do you know? And it's like, well, no one knows. And it's not, I don't know.
We're not 15. So no, I don't know. I don't drink Prime by the case. So I have no idea.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think obviously the ending was intentional. I don't know where this leads, but you don't just have KO almost win with brass knucks and you call it a day. Something else is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be KO and Logan 3 or 4. I feel like they've had a few matches, whatever match number it's going to be at the Chamber, but it just seems like that's not the end of this story. Maybe this is where KO turns heel. I don't know, but it just seems like the ending was not just to end the match and just call it a day and get to the Rumble. I think the ending is meaningful for one reason or the other that I cannot tell you why, but I just it just seems like this doesn't end just yet. And I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to lead up to Mania, and you can't just have LA and God damn it, we don't even know if it's going to be LA and Logan, but you don't have someone like that lead up and feud for 4 or 5 months before Mania. What is January, February, March, April? Okay, my math was kind of off, but it's close.
Yeah, we got 2 more between now and Mania. We got 2 more premiums. I don't know what the next one. Well, Chamber's next, and then it's something. Yeah, something will be in March, and then something, and then it'll be Mania in April. But I don't know. Maybe we get
something. Because if it's over, you just do
I think you see like a no DQ. We could see like an Extreme Rules match in Australia for maybe not even for the title, or maybe it is for the title again, and then that's how we get like Knight involved because Theory and Waller come out again. Waller getting the big pop in Australia, and then Knight comes out to level the playing field and actually helps hurt Logan Paul, and who knows? Yeah, maybe that's how we get to build them starting toward Mania. We'll see.
Yes.
But
sir.
Was what it was.
Buddy, let's get to it.
The big one.
The men's Royal Rumble. And isn't it crazy, Keith, what time does? Punk is like a hero. He cuts an emotional promo.
He's home,
7-8 months before this, he was beating the shit out of AEW executives, and now he's back in the ring crying, I'm not going to make it to Mania. But you feel it, He was crying, man, and I felt it. I wasn't tearing up, but I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This is it, man. If you want a Rumble to talk about, this is how you do it. And it wasn't on purpose, Things did not happen intentional. They didn't plan this. Punk, I don't know. Did they call an audible? Was Punk going to win the Rumble?
I had that thought too, watching it. Like, was it going to be a thing? And then when he knew he tore it, he rolled over because there's been videos going around of like when it happened. It's supposedly when Drew gave him the future shock.
Yeah, and on purpose.
He like rolls over to the side like almost immediately, and you can. Part of like what I was saying with the crowd being like kind of quiet is like you could hear people, you could like almost hear everybody like calling spots. They even mentioned it on commentary. McAfee said something at some point during the Women's Rumble when Nia was doing one of her million ones that she did. Some dude at ringside was yelling like a sentence at Nia, and you could hear it. It was picking up on the mics because McAfee was just like, "All right, that was one guy's thoughts, I guess." So like you can hear like he rolls over to the side and he says to one of them just like something's not right, or it says something like that, like he knows he's messed up. So like I'm wondering, like you said, if that was them being like, cool, we got the word from Triple H, you're going out then now, Cody's gonna win.
Yeah. So like I said, there's a lot of questions in the air that were not on purpose. I mean, Punk did they call an audible? It seems like Gunther may be lost now with what he's going to do. Seth, it's hard to see where he's going. Is it going to be Brock and Roman now? Is it going to be Cody and Seth? I mean, there's so many questions out of the Rumble. Purpose, intentional, unintentional. But I think this is really cool just because, again, I always say it, it's just the unknown. I mean, what is Chamber now? Seriously, what is Chamber? Yeah. Is it even important? I mean, who wins the Chamber for what? Is it for the United States? Is it for IC? Yeah. It can't be Cody winning the Rumble and the Chamber. I mean, what is he going to face? Roman and Cody Roman
on both nights, just in case he doesn't give him the first night, he gets the second night.
But I think what's really important, and then we'll get back to our thoughts on the Rumble. But I think what I see that's it's right there. It's calling our name. It's going to be Seth and Cody. I think what Seth did on Monday night, saying this is your title, this is your dad's title. He never won this title. This is the one you want. I mean, if we're going to see Cody and Seth for the 4th time, I'm okay with it. But I don't know. Let's get into the Rumble, then we'll get to the aftermath. What do you got here, bro?
So this was another one, real good. It's tough calling this one the best men's Rumble because there's so many other good ones because it's been the men's Rumble for 40 some years at this point, or almost 40 years, whatever. No, not 40. Jesus, it's like the same age as me. Only it's like 36. Christ, I'm
Yeah.
old. Anyway, good stuff in here. There was some like lull points for me.
Yeah.
My biggest thing now, I know like there's a bunch of stuff thrown around that like some of it was like kind of switched up on the fly because of everything going on with Vince and
Yeah.
lawsuits and maybe Brock and whatever.
Yeah.
But like this one, for as much as I enjoyed the women's rumble for like Jordan Grace popping up out of nowhere and Naomi being in and like so the surprise kind of stuff ish like that was going on.
Yeah.
I felt like this one lacked in that like so much. Like Andrade, yeah, sure, okay, and Sammy at the end, yeah, sure, but like outside of that, like not really. McAfee's thing we mentioned earlier, I hated that. Like that was such a wasted thing for like, especially when you're looking at like it already wasn't like a great thing, but like it was funny and all, but like it's so much more disappointing when it's like where was like Gable or like Sheamus or Pete Dunne or like any legendary like legend returns. Like I wanted Shamrock, yeah, but like anybody, like I know from our interview with him, like I know he's not like in the best like health with it and everything, but like bring the Godfather back and do like they did with him in like 05 or whatever that was, where it's like it takes him like 15 minutes to get there because he keeps bringing more hose out with him, gets down there, gets clothesline, immediately he's gone. I'll take that over it. That's funnier because it's a legend that came back and it's, oh man, he's doing the hose and it's this whole thing. This was just like McAfee came out. It was already a surprise McAfee was there. And then like, surprise, now you're in the Rumble too. And then he just like kind of eliminates himself, but doesn't and gets back in and then actually does. Like, no, like...
Yeah,
I was thinking like a comedy. I don't say this just because like I'm salty that I was wrong about it, but like I did as my prediction of like shortest in the men's rumble was going to be Tozawa. Do a comedy spot with Tozawa, rather than this weird jump in, jump off of commentators. Bring Tozawa out, have him get just absolutely as soon as like have him come in and he climbs the top rope, he's going to jump in, he jumps onto Omos and Omos just pushes him out of the ring right away from the air. Like beautiful, comedy spot. That's way more fun. Makes Omos look huge. Awesome. Sounds great to me. So that was like weird. I
think for me, it's two things. I said it's fast paced and fun for the women's here. Still the same thing to an extent, but I think more importantly, the obvious stars look good, and the stars that we wanted to look good.
Yeah.
The Braun Breakers, the Hayes, we don't know what they got. We know what they had in NXT, and we think we know that Braun and Carmelo will, succeed on the main roster. But for a Rumble standpoint, they looked comfortable. They looked like they knew what they were doing in the big spotlight. So I like that very much. And then again, like I said, the big stars, they look great. Rhodes looked great. Gunther looked great. Punk looked great for an extent. McIntyre made sense. Zayn, Balor. I mean, it just everything.
There was a lot of good. There was a lot of good spots that made sense. I really loved what they did with like basically using the Rumble to advance the Lashley and Karrion Kross AOP Street Profits thing. That was like a greatly done thing because like Lashley's really good. Kross is there. This was a good way to build their story of like they come out like Lashley eliminates him, then he's pissed, so he eliminates Lashley, and AOP comes out, and then Street Profits come to like that was well done because like either Kross or Lashley was going to win, and that's fine. But the way you eliminate it, and that's like that was a great way to build that story. But like for as much as like that was great and that made sense, like. We had McAfee. We had the JD McDonough spot too. Like that annoyed me.
Yeah, I really hated that.
What was the point of that? Again, it's more annoying when you're looking at it and like, all right, well, like it would have been cool to see Sheamus come back and get in there and actually do some stuff, or it would have been awesome to see my boy Gable, the Duder, get in there and do it. Or no, like they were the first two that like popped in my head, but like the list can go on and on. Like, get Otis in there for another. Who's going to lift Otis over the top rope? Like there was just so many people that weren't there that should have been, and like our only real surprise, I mean, in my book, because like, you can make the argument for like Hayes and for Breaker, but like Hayes has kind of been around on the main roster for the last couple of weeks doing like dark matches and whatever matches here and there. Breaker, we've all known Breaker's been. He's been ready to come up for forever. This is like taking forever anyway. Like he should have already been there. So that was like, oh, cool, he's here, but like he should have been anyway. So whatever.
Yeah.
Andrade was a surprise. That was
Yeah.
like crazy to me too. Like Andrade was like the surprise, another one we all kind of knew was happening, but it was so funny to me that like it felt like nobody knew who he was until he took the mask off. Like it said Andrade, it went Al Idolo, and everyone was just kind of like,
yeah.
And then he took his mask and we're like, okay, now we know. Like that was weird. But you know, I'm hoping we build some stuff out of it, like some more things.
Well, they did.
I would love to see like Bronson Reed actually be now the one to dethrone Gunther. Watching those two go back and forth, I want more singles matches with them. Bronson Reed deserves some more love. Gunther can also just have all the titles. Let's just give him all the titles in the meantime.
Yeah,
he'll drop the Intercontinental to Reed, but then he'll win the heavyweight and the Uwu and the friggin' U.S. title and the tag titles all by himself.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
I think, you know, with the women's rumble, I'll go back to like, we know what's going to happen. We knew Bayley was going to win.
Yeah.
We know that she's going to go one-on-one with, you know, Io. With this one, it's a lot of fun. And I know it's not on purpose. I think that is the, you know, at the end of the day, for me, that's what the Rumble for the men's is all about. It's just like the unknowns, because going into it, Reigns, Cody, Seth, Punk.
Yeah.
Maybe Gunther and someone else. Here, it's just like Drew and what? Sammy?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, there's just a lot of unknowns. But let's get into what I brought up earlier. So, is it Rock and Roman? And if it's not, then is it Cody who stared at Roman on purpose at the Rumble? So that's where I'm saying, Keith, I don't know if it was an audible. I think Cody was supposed to win. But then if you look at it, it's like, well, what was that promo about with Seth and Cody? You know, why would they do that? You know, it doesn't make sense. Again, like I said in the predictions, the Fatal 4-Way, what does that do for Roge's story? You know, doesn't do anything. Roman wins. Punk, he's hurt. Okay. Enter Gunther, who everyone thought not everyone, but we thought it could be Seth and Gunther at Mania. Now that this happens, I mean, Chamber, what do you do with the Chamber? Is it for the IC title? Is it for a number one contender for a lower mid-card title? I mean, what is even the Chamber because of the injuries? I mean, there's so many unknowns, and I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, because WrestleMania is a big deal, and I don't even know, honestly, if they know, right? Like, what do you do?
I mean, I think it's tough, because like obviously none of us know anything. We all think that we do, but none of us know anything.
Exactly.
I feel like we are going to get Cody Roman too, especially just because of the way that it went down. And like honestly, like I know like the promo and all from Monday night was like,
why would they do it?
It was cool, and I get that. Like, why would they do it? But like, it was also like a really confusing promo to me in a way too, because like Seth basically like, in so many words, kind of goes to Cody just being like, nah, like this is the belt they made. Like he more or less said that it was like the consolation prize. Like they made that title because Roman wasn't defending his enough. Like this is the one, and it's like, you're not doing a good job of really building that up for me there, Seth, because like you're telling me that like it's not as good as the other one. It was made because the other one wasn't around enough. And like, while I get where you're coming from, like you're not really selling me on it that much. Like it doesn't sound that prestigious or anything. So I think we are going to still get Cody Roman too. He, you know, like you said, he yelled at him at the end of it. Like I'm coming. He basically all but went just like, I am going to fight you at WrestleMania again, Roman Reigns. So, like, I think we're going to get that one again. So then I think that's...
Let's throw the monkey wrench in there. Punk's hurt.
Right. So I think that's where Chamber goes to. And I think that's what it was always going to be kind of anyway, where whoever... I felt like I have been of the mindset, whoever, whether it was Cody or it was... I predicted Punk. So Punk wins the Rumble. Punk ends up picking Seth. Punk and Seth Mania. Cool. Chamber then. Cody wins Chamber. Cody picks Roman. Like, the Chamber ends up being... for the number one contender for the title that the Rumble winner doesn't pick. So now, granted, Punk's hurt now, but so with Cody winning, before I heard he was injured, I was like, oh, cool, we're going to swap it now. Cody won, Cody picks Roman, Chamber becomes number one contender for the heavyweight title, Punk wins, Punk Seth Mania. Cool.
Yeah.
I think we still keep that same thing. I think the Chamber is still going to end up being for number one contender for the heavyweight title. It's just now a matter of who wins.
Who?
Drew is around it a lot, especially him cutting the promo on Drew cutting the promo on Punk about,
he's
I
a
prayed
good
for
heel,
this and
but
everything.
I'm
with you. I don't know that I agree with it, but I think he's someone in that match. I think Gunther is too, mainly because so the IC title reign already, he's just being built so well in WWE, and I'll try not to gush over him too much, but if you think about it, Gunther's been in 2 Rumbles. Last year, he was the Iron Man from number 1 all the way to the last one to be eliminated. Amazing. Yeah. This year, he wasn't all the way in the beginning. He didn't go as long or anything like that, but he was still he was the first from the last. He was in the final 3, and then he got eliminated. That's staying power in the Rumble. That's building a guy that's I can see him coming out and being no, I'm done with this. I'm getting in that chamber. I'm going to eat everyone that's in there alive. And I'm going to Mania and I'm taking that heavyweight championship. And I'm going to bring the prestige back. Not that there hasn't been prestige, but just Gunther words. So that's what I think it's going to be. It could be Drew. It could be Gunther. I think they're both going to be in the chamber match for it. Breaker.
Braun and Gunther, but looks like Braun's going to SmackDown. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I can see that down the line. I would like that match, but Braun needs more stuff to him.
Yeah,
he's fast and all, which is cool with Gunther, but
get rid of the dog.
He doesn't have a whole lot of. He doesn't have a huge move set yet. Still. So I need more out of him for that, and then I'll be stoked for him and Gunther. But
I think
he might be in the
really
chamber,
cool. Yeah, I think what was really cool. My bad for cutting you off.
Oh, you're good.
Who did we start with, buddy? I mean, Jimmy and Jay.
So go ahead. Sorry, now I'm cutting you off. Go for it.
This, like I said, women's made sense. Now we know where we're going. We don't really have a direction here. Could be Roman, could be Brock, could be The Rock, could be Seth, could be Punk. We don't know. Just finish the story. But with this is what you want. Yeah. You want Jimmy and Jay leading up to WrestleMania, and I think that's what we're going to get. And this is it, man. This could main event, in my opinion. I would be okay if that main event at night 1 or night 2 or
for sure.
night 4 or 5 in 5 or 6 years. But this is what you want. You want the battle of the brothers.
Yes.
We wanted it, and we got it in AEW with Cody and Dustin, and it was something special. I mean, that's what they built AEW off of, that bloody match. Right. It works. It works because they're blood, because they know what ticks, they know what needs to be done. I love it. And the only thing I want out of this is just leave the bloodline out of it. We get it. The story, we get it. Okay, who's at the table? There's Rikishi, there's Jimmy, there's Shay, The Rock, the whole family. We understand that. There is a legacy. We understand that. But I don't want Solo interfering. I don't want anything like that. But I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Jimmy and Jay, give me one-on-one. Yeah. What do you got, bro?
Agreed. I want that real bad. That was one of the missteps for me in the men's Rumble was that was over too quick. They were the first 2. There was the face-off. They started fighting and everything. But then it was just as soon as Waller came in, they Waller and Jimmy teamed up on Jay, which I get, whatever. But then it was just once number 4 came in, it was just the Rumble again of I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you. I'll fight you. And they're just all switching around and doing their things. And it was just no, give me more of that. You two do whatever and get rid of those and then just come at blows to each other again after everything you guys have been through with stuff, So that was a little wasted for me, but I guess maybe they're trying to hold off for the real stuff for Mania because this is absolutely a Mania ready match. You put it anywhere on the card, it's going to be awesome. I would absolutely see it on a main event. I would love to see it be, tribal combat and let them really just beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
Have Solo involved in some way. He's got to pick the better brother. Even though one's in the bloodline, one's not, whatever, but I don't know. I'm ready for that match at Mania. That's another one that I feel from this, we're confirmed that's going to happen at Mania. You start the little bit here with those 2 in the ring, just the little face-off with Jade and Bianca in the women's. You got 3 months to get it together and make the actual match written in stone to do it at Mania. And it's going to be great. Rumble was good. I'm going to call it a good. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say that it was. Yeah. I might even call it great. I might even call it pretty great. Not the greatest of all time in that tier, but it was really good. It was better than some recent ones, not as good as some other recent ones. Call it like that. For the men's, the women, like for the event as a whole, the women's rumble, probably the best women's rumble there's been so far since there being women's rumbles. Men's rumble, it was in there. It was fine. It was good. Not great. It was fine.
Got the job done.
Event as a whole was very, very good. I think what I'm most looking forward to, obviously always looking forward to seeing what happens with Sammy and KO. That's a given. And Gunther. I think I'm more interested to see what's going to happen with Seth's title, because to me, that's the bigger question mark. I feel like we're not getting out of Cody Roman 2. So who's facing Seth? And basically what that comes down to, who's facing Seth / who's beating Seth and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania.
Exactly. I'm with you. And I think for me, it was, again, I hate grading. It was good. I enjoyed it. I had a lot more fun with the boys. Yeah. But for me, I know I just talked, 30, 40 minutes. So who's going to finish the story? It's got to be Roman. It's got to be Cody at WrestleMania. And I just love Cody and I won. I think for me, it's Gunther. I mean, what the hell do you do with him? Again, Chamber winner might face Seth. But I think for me, it's like, what do we do with Gunther? I mean, it's again, fascinating that he does well back to back, and he's still not like the centerfold, the focus of Raw or the Rumble, but he's there.
Right.
And we don't know. We don't know. Is it going to be Sammy? I don't know. Braun? I don't know. Drew? I don't know. But I think I don't want to say it's Gunther's Mania, but there's something, man. There's something that we're not seeing here with Gunther. It's just he's too big of a name. The reign has been too long. Not that he's been pushed aside, but he went one-on-one with Kofi. There needs to be
more
him in the middle on the line saying, "I'm going one-on-one." I don't know, but that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to know what's next for Gunther.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Keith, let's end it here. Give the people what they want. How can they find you?
You already know I'm on X at Keith of the Ring. I'm on Instagram at _Keith of the Ring, and on TikTok at Keith of the Ring.
Yes, sir. And you can find us right here on the UW Pod, the Universal Wrestling Podcast. We're on YouTube at the UW Pod, Twitter /X. I keep saying Twitter at the UW Pod, Instagram at UW Podcast. Have a good night. Peace.